Thank you very much for joining us as we continue to track this amazing edition, actually record-setting edition of the Race Across America. I'm Dave Toll. We're here in the studio, and let's go ahead and flash to the very front of the bike race and pick up Christoph Strasser to begin with, as he looks like he is in very good shape to break that 1986 record set by Pete Penseers. We want to be clear on how we're tracking this, as the course has changed many times throughout the multiple editions of this race. We've started and finished in a lot of different cities along the west and east coast. This year, obviously, we started in Oceanside and are finishing in Annapolis. So the best way for us to really gauge, compare, and contrast performances from year to year is by looking at the racer's average speed. And so it is Pete Penseers that has that record going back to 1986, but it is being challenged, and it's going to be hard to imagine, actually, that Christoph Strasser doesn't finish inside of that 8-day, 8-hour record. He should go inside 8 days by all of the metrics that we're looking at right now. If you look a little bit further down the road, it's about 130 to 140 miles back to find second place. Rito Schock is actually tracking or putting up marks that are ahead of where he was when he won the race last year. So Rito Schock can hardly be disappointed with the performance that he's put together sitting in second place. But what we're seeing from Christoph Strasser is a ride for the ages, without a doubt. Taking a look at our top 10, Edward Fuchs and Mark Patterson battling out there. These two have been going back and forth. It's been really exciting, and we're going to see who ends up in our top 10 when we make our way to Annapolis. So that's our men's solo race. Taking a look at our women's solo category, Cassie Schumacher, who we were just talking about, has completed 1,439 miles, going past checkpoint 25 as she sits in second behind the all-time and undisputable queen of endurance racing, that being Shauna Hogan. Shauna through checkpoint 26 as our solo women's leader. Maria Parker, she's clocked through at 13.73, so that story remains an interesting one to follow. And then Kathy Roach Wallace has already completed over 1,250 miles. She's past checkpoint 22. As the teams continue to roll across the United States, it's starting to look like, I realize we're talking about a lot of records in a bunch of different categories here, and that speaks to, I think, the conditions that we're seeing here in 2013. Obviously, you saw, if you've been watching with us over the last week, it hasn't been perfect out there. We've had some very hot days, but we haven't had anything so incredibly hot that it's bursting the thermometer. We haven't had winds that have been blowing the riders off the road, even though it has been windy at times. These are things that our riders are always going to be planning for. The route revisions that we saw affecting our solo riders haven't yet, and does not look like it's going to affect our team riders as they're coming through that part of the country a couple days after Christoph Strasser and the rest of his solo colleagues. So what we're seeing, and we talked about that 5-day, 5-hour, 5-minute world record, it is going to be challenged without a doubt, as Team Allied Forces is crushing it out there. They are right now 90 minutes ahead of the record, and on Wolf Creek Pass alone, and that's one of the more severe climbs that they see in this year's Race Across America, they actually added 7 minutes to their buffer. So this has been an incredible ride from Team Allied Forces, as well as some of our other squads here. Another one of the very interesting battles that we're looking at is in our 4-rider team record. The Fireflies, that was the firefighter squad that we were talking about yesterday, are certainly looking to hold on as they're leading in that 4-rider category. We had a chance to check in with some of our teams and their support crews over the last day, and this is an interview with the Love, Sweat, and Gears. We're actually just going to show you a quick snippet of this. If you'd like to see more, check in with Mickey Diamond and the rest of the crew at Riding the Line.
The nice part about relaying is you're getting in a car, so you can kind of drop your core temperature before you get back out, 10 minutes in between. So it seems more manageable than if you're soloing. That would be a little bit more difficult.
There are some distinct differences between racing across America as a solo rider versus being a part of our 2, 4, and 8-rider teams. And there's actually a distinct difference between being a part of a 2-rider team and an 8-rider team. We're getting a chance to look at how they relay riders out on course. You can see what they'll do is send an advanced vehicle with a rider, get them positioned on the road, ready to go as they wait for the teammate to come through. Once that teammate passes, that activates the rider who has been waiting, and the relay is complete. They'll do this hundreds of times here over the next 6-7 days. This is our team's leaderboard, looking to see if a record is set this year. Most of our teams are already through the Rocky Mountains and done with the thin air of the high mountains and ready now to challenge the plains as our leaders are looking to see if they can catch our solo riders before they make their way into Annapolis. The field is spread out through Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois as our leaders are well into Ohio at this point as they continue on some record-setting rides. We'll continue to see if their luck remains good because these conditions have been what they certainly wanted, although we do hear from our weather desk that there's some pretty rough weather on the horizon. I'm Dave Toll for our entire Race Across America team saying thanks a lot for joining us. We might see Christoph Strasser finishing a day and a half from now.